Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival. So today I wanted to talk to you about something that I hear all the time, and it just doesn't set right with me, and so I just kind of want to throw it out for discussion and see what you guys think. People talk about looters, right? And how there's going to be this major, people are going to go crazy. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to be killing each other and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's true to a certain degree for a very short period of time during a big, massive incident where there's like a grid down situation, like nationwide, like an EMP or a cyber attack, or perhaps even in a pandemic situation where people are dying left and right and it's just getting kind of crazy. I think there will be an initial panic stage where people basically just go, kind of like the purge, you know what I mean? They just go crazy and do stuff. But I particularly don't think that will last very long. And the reason I don't think that that's going to last very long is because they're going to get killed very quickly. The looters are going to be the first people to die. The very first people to die, I think. Now, there may be some sheep that are dying with them. But in this country, there are a lot of people who own firearms and who are going to be just as determined to defend their homes and their families as these crazy people are who are going to be willing to take stuff. Okay? And I think that the whole looting situation is probably going to end much faster than what people think. I don't have a particular time frame on this, but I think that we're going to see, if there is a situation like this, that good people, that are trained with firearms, veterans. We have millions and millions of veterans who served a particular time or another. We have probably got to be getting close to 100 million gun owners in the country, and they are not only going to defend their homes, but they're also going to come together with people and they're going to defend other people's homes. And so I just don't think that these mass looters is really going to be a big thing. I also don't really put any stock into the idea of these large, Negan style, saviors sort of groups that are going to fall all in line behind one leader. And the reason I don't buy that, and I think shows like The Walking Dead perpetuate this, because the people who are willing to do that and to take from other people are also the same kind of people that are willing to challenge that leader by just shooting him in the back of the head randomly. Okay? And so the whole concept of a large group like that is really hard for me to buy into. Now, I will admit that in certain big urban cities where they already have pre-established gangs, you may see that for a short period of time. But I think you'll quickly see that order and that discipline break down, because there are going to be other people in those gangs who want to challenge those leaders for their leadership, and they're going to want to take that away, and they're going to end up killing themselves. As a result of that, even the large gangs are going to end up fracturing, and you're probably going to see a very quick disintegration of those gangs down into members of 4 to 6. That is really the size where people can come together and work together as a group without there being a lot of struggles in leadership and that kind of thing. So I think that you're going to see that those gang situations are not going to be as deadly as people think. And once those smaller groups start to go and they start attacking individual homes and stuff like that, they're going to quickly end up getting their numbers cut in half. A lot of people talk on YouTube, and I just disagree with this theory in general. They say that you can't defend a home. I think that's wrong. I think you can defend your home, especially against a smaller group of people of 4 or 6. It's always much more advantageous to have a defensive position when you're taking on a larger group of people, especially if it's well outfitted. Now, are there risks involved? Of course there are risks involved. You know, a house getting burned down or whatever is going to be difficult to deal with, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible to deal with. You know, there's the opportunity for you to take those people out when they get close enough to throw Molotov cocktails and different things like that. So I particularly don't buy into this whole thing that if you bug in, you're going to die no matter what because gangs are going to come and run you out. That's unlikely. And I'm really I have just a couple of little notes that I've pretty much already read through here, but I'm rolling off the top of my head on a lot of this. The idea that they're going to burn you out is not necessarily going to be a criminal's first option, because why are they attacking your house in the first place? They're not doing it just for kicks. They're doing it because they want the stuff inside your house. And if they burn your house down, well, then you're not going to get the stuff. So I think that's off the table right off the beginning. Now, once they have taken stuff from a house, you may see them burning houses down. That could be a possibility, but burning it down before they take the stuff just doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. They're going to want to kill the people that are inside first, and then go in and loot everything that they can, and then they may potentially look at burning it or not. Who knows? So if you do things to harden your home and make it easier to defend, like I talked about with sandbags and with door devils and all the different potential options that you could do for hardening a home, taking on a group of 4 to 6 with a family of 4 is a very real possibility. You know, if your children are old enough to use a firearm, if your wife is trained in a firearm, that's a very real potential option to where you, from a defensive position, can take those groups out fairly quickly. And sometimes you might only get half of them, and sometimes you might get maybe all of them. Who knows? But when those survivors go out and they tell people, don't go over to that neighborhood because they've got a group together, they're organized, all that kind of stuff, then you're not going to have nearly as many problems. A lot of apocalyptic books, like to talk about the idea of, big gangs and organized gangs and all that kind of stuff. I just don't think that's real. I don't think that's a very realistic possibility at all. I could be wrong. I mean, I could definitely be wrong. I think that some of the more realistic books would be like the 299 Days, where it's just the government that ends up becoming so corrupt and stuff like that they end up being the biggest threat. The idea that large roving gangs and stuff just doesn't seem very likely to me. There's too many power struggles within that kind of culture, and when there's no rule of law, animals are going to be animals, and they're going to kill themselves fast. So I think that's a good thing. Let them kill each other off, because then we don't have, the good people don't have to worry about anything like that. So I think that there will be an initial wave of violence, but I think it's going to be short-lived, and the first people to die are going to be the people who are willing to loot and try to steal things from other people, especially here in America. So if that's your plan, good luck, because it ain't going to work. Anyway, guys, that's just my thoughts, just real quick. I know there's a lot of people out there who differ with me, and I would love to hear the reasons why I'm wrong in the comments below. I'm not going to argue with you, because this is all speculation. This is just my opinion on the matter, and I could definitely be wrong. I admit that fully, but I'd love to hear you tell me why I'm wrong. So anyway, guys, as always, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.